Hey guys, welcome back to the Weekend Warrior Garage. On today's episode, we're going to be jumping back on the Raptor 350. It needs some final touches before we go riding here in about a week. The rear brakes aren't working. Not sure what's going on with that. And then the clutch cable came in from Motion Pro, and then I'm going to be replacing the stock clutch perch as well because I took off the emergency brake handle, and I don't like the looks of it just being on there. So anyways, first things first though, I'm going to clean up a little bit. It's pretty gross in here. I had kind of a rough winter and just everything kind of stockpiled in here. As you can see, I got a million things going on. Just trying to jump back on the quads here. And next week we'll be reassembling the 300EX. So stay tuned for that. If you haven't already, go check out the rebuild of this. It was filmed for TikTok, so bear with the camera angles. I'm working on it. And then there's a teardown on the 300EX and then a few other things. So please go check out the other videos, like, share, subscribe, and cue the intro. So we're a little bit more cleaned up now. It's not perfect. I completely ignored that side for obvious reasons because Jeep's not going anywhere, because that truck's not going anywhere. As you can see, I got a lot of stuff going on. So in addition to not running, this was the rear brake pad. Well, the metal backing plate that was left of it. It also dug into the caliper itself right there. I did slap new pads on it. I put a block off plate for the emergency brake and got rid of that cable. But unfortunately, the piston is not moving within that caliper. I've tried pushing air onto it, all that good stuff. I found an extra one in my parts bin, and we're gonna switch them out, see if that one doesn't work a little bit better. If not, the Raptor 660 over there does have a good brake caliper on it. Unfortunately, that is my personal bike, and I don't really want to rob Peter to pay Paul here, but so to remove a rear brake caliper here, it's really just this 12 millimeter, that 12 millimeter, and this one slide pin. There is a slide here, but it literally just slides. As you can see, my boot's a little torn up there, but as long as you got grease, you'll be okay. And then this is the brake line and the bleeder. All right, so like I said, 12 millimeters for pretty much everything on the rear brake assembly. Taking off the hose here, this is a banjo bolt that allows fluid to pass throughout it, and it'll have two copper O-rings, one on the inside, one on the outside. That guy there. Then there should be another one here. Huh. Oh, there it is. Starting to think maybe that was my problem. So just kind of put that guy out of the way. And then the two 12 millimeters here. Brake fluid will come out of it, hopefully. And then remove the slide pin bolts that hold the caliper on there, or I'm sorry, the brake pads. Huh. Well, might have just found my issue. Let me get you guys in here. You guys see that? See that washer? It's pushing on the caliper, kind of wedged in the mounting bracket. Like maybe it was stopping the piston from moving. I'm gonna remove that guy and see if this caliper works after all. Geez, I can't believe I either did that or missed it. But I depressed this. So, excuse me. Gonna have to bleep that out. Always double check your work, I guess, is the moral of the story. Let's see if I can press this a little bit. Ah, jeez. Smart thing would do is to loosen up that bolt right there. Let's do that real quick, I guess. Well, one turn came right out. Guess let's hook up and see if that piston's willing to move. This bracket slides real easy. I remember that I lubed everything. Just needs a new boot, it looks like, honestly. Toss that down there. So there'll be that little guy that sits there. You bend those tabs down to make sure these bolts don't come out. You just got to align them all up. Just try to get 1 or 2 threads started and then come over to this other one. Do the same thing. Make sure you start them by hand though, and not, you don't want to cross thread them. And sometimes it helps a little bit, put a screwdriver in between them, because that kind of just like evens them out a little bit. Make sure that they're not tweaked. Okay, make sure the banjo washers are on there. Just kind of start those threads. Don't tighten everything down until you got everything on and lined up. Okay, and remember there's going to be some air in the system. Should be. Okay, so it's a lot like a car where you just pump the brake to get kind of good pressure, and then you just got to release that. If you guys can't tell, I'm concerned about camera angles for you. Just make sure that can crack open. And it's a lot like cleaning the car. 500,000 years later, I finally have brakes. So what I had to do, I had so much air built up in the caliper from just taking it off and dumping all the fluid out that I actually had to siphon or vacuum bleed the hose and the caliper up until I got brake fluid up the hose. And from there, just fill up your reservoir and you should be good. Now, I don't have an actual vacuum bleeder. I had to do the old siphon method and literally suck it up through my mouth. But it worked, and this caliper is actually working. Kind of hard to show brakes working, but that's brake on. And no move. So I'm glad that was all that was wrong with that caliper, was just that washer. literally jamming it and keeping it from... So I'm taking off the stock clutch lever perch that also has the parking brake, because I took that parking brake off. That's what that silver cap was there on the back of the caliper. I was just going to remove the parking brake assembly, but then I noticed that the clutch cable was a little worn up here. So I decided just to replace the line itself. And then as I was cleaning out my parts room, I found a aftermarket clutch lever. And if not, I can always take it from the Warrior there, because it's not running anytime soon. So yeah, let's get that torn apart. All right, so this is your clutch lever for your actual clutch. This is when you pull that handle, the cable pulls on this to engage the clutch, or I'm sorry, disengage the clutch. So what you gotta do, just loosen it up back here. Looks like there's a bolt on the other side. Now Warrior is a little bit different. Warrior, it actually pulls this way and then goes up, and it kind of like wraps through the exhaust. This is actually an update that you can do to the Warriors. But anyways, so bolt right here, loosen that guy. That'll allow you to kind of pull the clutch cable out of its mount here and allow you to have some slack to remove it from there. And that was a 12 millimeter. Allows you to kind of pull the whole bracket in. And then it looks like Yamaha put a little tab there. I'm pretty sure the Warriors don't have that. Either way, grab you a screwdriver. Bend that tab out of the way. That. And the cable should be able to pull that little boot down, and it slides out like that. See this one? Then the wire here. All right, that thing would not let go. Man, it still won't let go. I'm still fighting it. So I'm fairly certain that is the parking brake sensor light. And I may have to wire up a dummy switch. Pretty much just where you jump the connector to make it look like the parking brake's off. I'll have to look at the manual and see what I got there. So anyways, getting rid of that guy there. And then here is our new Motion Pro clutch cable. And now I got to figure out what I did with that aftermarket perch. So I don't know what this is off of, and it's not the cleanest, but looks a lot better than just removing that parking brake cable. But that's what I'm going to use. Alright, so I was going to film that more, but then after fighting with all the angles and stuff, and you guys wouldn't have been able to see anything. So anyways, got the new cable on there. I'll push that boot back up there though. Anyways, I'll come back to that. So got the new clutch cable on. I originally was going to run it differently than besides through here, like from the factory had. I tried running it on the outside of the frame to try to avoid touching the exhaust, but that made it touch it more, so I had to reroute it through there. And then just by pulling it tight, you can kind of lean it on the head. The head will not get hot enough to melt that. The exhaust sure will though, just like the old one did. Right there. Which can lead to your cable wearing out a little faster. New clutch perch on there. Got it all adjusted. Motion Pro comes with a nice cover to make sure all that's hidden and not exposed to the elements. So, if you remember from the first video, bought this non-running. It had the broken camshaft. This guy here. See how that's all broken off? Yep, that bolt head snapped off and took all that with it because this is a cheap Chinese cam. Got on partzilla.com. Ordered up a new cam bolt washer, timing chain guide, and gasket kit and a few other little things. Got them on. It now runs. It's got rear brake because we moved that dang washer that was apparently holding this whole thing up. Got a new clutch perch on there and clutch cable. This thing should be ready to rip here in about a week or so. And that's going to do it for this video, guys. Thanks for hanging out with me. I messed up my conclusion video, so you're just going to get some audio here. Please watch the other videos. Like, share, subscribe, comment if you like what you're watching, like what I'm doing. I'll be trying to come out with content every couple weeks or so. And that's going to do it. But always remember, keep it between the ditches unless that's where you plan to go.